So my name's Allison Powell. I live in East Greenwich, and I'm here today in support of the Reproductive Health Care Act. But even more importantly, I'm here in support of legislative government and the democratic process. And I'm here to urge each member of this committee to do the same. As all of you know, but maybe not everybody in attendance, the purpose of committees is to basically vet legislation and determine which pieces are the most important that really deserve a full hearing of the legislative body. So regardless of your personal political leanings, each of you has a duty to preserve that process and to bolster public faith in representative government. And you can do both of those things by sending this important legislation to the floor for a vote. I've spoken personally with several lawmakers who support women's reproductive rights, but feel that current federal protection of these rights is sufficient. And now you've heard from many people here tonight, and I'm sure you'll hear from more, that we just don't feel that this is a safe position. Recent developments in Washington clearly indicate that federal protection for abortion is under attack and is less secure now than it has ever been in my lifetime. Ideological positions of many elected federal representatives and the possibility of the appointment of more staunchly conservative justices, such as Neil Gorsuch, to the Supreme Court continue to increase the likelihood that Roe v. Wade and its progeny will be overturned. But the Reproductive Health Care Act is neither moot nor redundant, no matter what it may look like to you right now. I ask you to really consider the real fears that many of your constituents have, that this protection is under attack. And if you agree that abortion should remain safe and legal in Rhode Island, you should fight to pass this bill out of committee. I know many people here are asking you to support the bill in general, to vote for this bill, but that can never happen unless the bill leaves this committee. You should not rely on existing federal protection for abortion, because doing so leaves Rhode Island women on uncertain ground, because this state has specifically carved abortion rights out of the Equal Protection Clause of its Constitution. And it has passed spousal consent laws, parental consent laws, bans on methods of abortion, burdensome hospital and licensing requirements for abortion providers, and other abortion legislation so restrictive that it has been deemed unconstitutional. So the time to codify state protection for abortion is now. This bill must be sent to the floor for a vote. So if you support the rights enumerated in this legislation, you cannot wait, assuming that the status quo is safe. If we've learned anything from the past few months of the current presidential administration, there is no longer such a thing as status quo in Washington, and nothing we have ever taken for granted in law or government is safe. I've also spoken to several lawmakers, including members of this committee, who do not support this legislation. You disagree with me on the issue of abortion, and recent polls indicate that a sizable minority of my fellow Rhode Islanders feels the same way. I obviously expect you to vote against passage of this bill, but I expect you to cast that no vote on the floor. I do not expect you to use your position on this committee to stymie the voice of the people on this important issue. You owe it to your fellow senators who do not sit on the Judiciary Committee and to the people of Rhode Island to afford this important legislation an up or down vote. This is a key issue that Rhode Islanders care about, and it should be voted on by all of the elected representatives of all of Rhode Islanders, not only those who sit on judiciary committees. Too many people have been too vocal for too long about this issue for you to think that holding this bill for further review will make it go away. It won't. Citizens want their voices heard on the Reproductive Health Care Act. So now I ask all of you, if, and some would say when, federal protection for abortion rights are removed, where will Rhode Island stand? Will we stand on the right side of history? So far, I'm not sure. If you fail to act now, we will be in a legal limbo, and we'll have to rush at that time to cobble together a position on this issue, and women's lives will hang in the balance. This is hard work. but it's the work you were elected to do. As elected representatives, please, I beg you, do not use rules of procedure to avoid making the very real decisions that your constituents want and expect you to make. You want to vote your conscience, that's fine, but vote it on the floor. To do otherwise will further erode the people's already crumbling faith in the democratic process. And that process, even more than the rights we're all discussing here tonight, must be protected, now more than ever, and at any and all costs. Thank you.